Hi, I'm Josh Bullivant, manager fishing guide at Trapper's Landing Lodge on beautiful Leech Lake. Leech Lake's known as one of the muskie capitals of Minnesota, and a lot of the die-hard muskie anglers, the Leech Lake strain's actually located in numerous lakes around Minnesota, and this is right home here. There was one day back in the 50s where there was over 15 to 20 fish caught that were over 50 inches. So it's definitely one of those great muskie fishing lakes. It's an easy lake. It's known as a quantity lake. You may not always catch 50 inches, but you can go out here and have a good day of 3, maybe even 6 fish, get tons of follows, and be a great day. A lot of people are getting into muskie fishing now. It's becoming a lot more accessible for you. I'm going to go kind of over some of the basics. There's a lot more advanced techniques out there. I'm going to go over some of my favorite lure choices, some of my colors, stuff to have with you to be successful, stuff that kind of gets overlooked. You know, a lot of times people may have been a walleye fisherman or may have been, you know, pan fishermen that got into a muskie because they saw one time, want to get into muskie fishing, and they tend to forget a little bit of these extra stuff. They're big animals. They got big teeth on them. They can hurt you sometimes, but handling them the right, proper ways you'll have a great time out there, especially if you got the right tools. So I'm going to go after some of the tools first for it, get kind of rid of the boring stuff. You know, everyone wants to see lures and everything else, the bright colors and flash. We're a lot like the muskies. We must like all those bright colors, especially I do. I got a ton of them. But one of the best things to have with you is going to be a jaw spreader. A lot of these, they're cheap. You can buy them anywhere. They unclip. You can keep them right in your tackle box. See how it opens up? That way it holds that muskie's mouth or that big pike's mouth open so you can stick your pliers in there and get your favorite lure back. Another option, I always carry a very, very long handled needlenose pliers. I can reach these down in there. A quick release is always good for these fish. So if you can get that hook out right away, they got hard mouths. Gives you some leverage. Even though it may be in the tip, it gives you some leverage and gets it out without affecting that fish and hurting that fish. So having a little bit longer needle nose, you can carry a smaller one too, but these longer needle nose, I prefer those in there. I also carry a right angle clippers. You never know, you may be in a boat one day and that gust of wind, just like now, may have come up and flung that lure into your buddy sitting next to you. I've actually come across a few people that were die-hard muskie fishermen and seen those lures. I've actually even removed a couple lures from people, not in my boat, but from other boats out on the water that have flagged me down because they didn't have these proper tools. So having a right angle clippers that I can clip these big, heavy, giant hooks out of somebody works out great. That way I can clip it, I get free range, can use it and remove that hook from somebody. So great tool to have. Muskies have really, really strong mouths, hard. It's a lot of bone. So making sure all of your hooks. The number one thing I can't say enough is a lot of people miss those fish or they came unglued and it was because their hooks weren't sharp enough. I've seen some people where they have dulled, they hit a rock, may have pointed in one of those. Having a hook sharpener, this is just two circular, they're chainsaw sharpeners. They're welded together and then stuck in a handle. And I'm going to run that hook, you know, we'll run it, I'll hold it right here. I'll grab those there and it's just running it down the lengthwise. And you can either use the lure as doing it, but you'll shave it down away from the hook and I'll make nice edges. Make sure that gets rid of all the burrs on there and you'll hit it on both sides. So you'll start to peel away some of it, but you'll get a nice sharp hook point. Kind of give you a little bit of an edge too on that backside to give you some extra cutting power. Sometimes people, I'll get them nice and sharp. I mean, they should just be able to hang right there. See how it's on my fingernail? It's sticking right into there. So you know you got a nice sharp hook. You can run it. If it slides really easily, you have a dollar hook and you can sharpen it until it starts to stick in your fingernail. So that's one of the tips that I like to know when I got a sharp hook. Now we go on. I carry a lot of different size leaders with. Make sure you always I like fluorocarbon leaders. This is a 3-foot leader. I use it if I'm going to be trolling. If I'm going to be casting, I like to go down to about a foot long leader. And I prefer fluorocarbon. It's to most steel leaders because they last a little while longer. Some people don't like them because they are a little bit thicker line running through the water, so you may not get that same lure presentation that you're looking for. If I'm having that or if I'm downsizing, I will use a steel leader because there's less water resistance on that. And then going to some of my favorite, I got some of my favorite lures out here. Slide bait. See, it's narrowed. This is a subsurface bait. Kind of flicks in the water and moves. Looks like a great wounded bait fish, especially with the tiger stripes. Make sure it's kind of looking like a perch. Cisco color, a white, works great out here as well for it, but that's one of my favorite. Another one of my favorite lures to use is the Bulldogs. They've got all sorts of different sizes of this. This is the original one. This seems to be everybody's favorite. You can get tired casting these all day, but they look like an eel pout. They got that great movement. Muskies love eel pout. They love eating those. This is a great representation of what one looks like in the water. You get multiple colors. They tend to work a little bit better in the fall. Not as good in the summertime, but that fall time using these big lures like that, they love them. And then I start to get in summertime. It's all known as spinner time fishing. So I love pulling all these different spinners. These are little baby girls, but these are just some of my favorite colors. I love the chartreuse blue is a favorite color of mine. Always a classic is going to be anything with the orange blades and the black body. Good all around, all season long. Good color combination to have. Blue silver on these nice sunny days. You can see this really shining in the sun today. And then pink and purple. It must be a girl thing because most of those big mama fish, they must like the pink and purple, and just a favorite color of theirs. And then I carry one that kind of looks like a Cisco or matches that. So you see the purple shine. It's got the white and silver blades on it. So this works. I use this one a little bit more in the fall when they're up on the rocks for it. And there's multitude of different sizes and colors of these. And it's experimenting, having a few of them. The bigger the better sometimes. If early in the springtime I may match the hatch, small stuff. They're a little bit lethargic. And then last but not least is your classic safety pin spinner. And these I love using these first part when the season opens in June. I use a lot of safety pin spinners along the weeds, some of those rock edges. I tip a lot of mine with a 4-inch twister tail. Adds a little bit of enticement to it. Make sure that they get that extra bite. So you can roll these across those rocks a little bit slower early in the season. Of course, you always got crankbaits. Again, those work good. These ones are awesome ringers for the Ciscos and Tullibees in the lake. I love using these too. They love crankbaits. They love wounded stuff. Very aggressive fish like these. If you're having a lot of fish follow on your spinners, follow up with a crankbait and you'll catch a few. You may catch that fish then. So these are just some of the little stuff I like to have with. Make sure you've got all the right tools before you head out on the water. Big enough net. 2 people is always fun to fish with. It's hard to net that fish by yourself. For it, make sure you know safety and all of that. Sometimes I've heard of people falling in, a big fish pull them in or they lose their balance. So having 2 people there helping you catch that net. Make sure you've got all the right tools to release that fish so that they can come out, be out there. Practice catch and release, take a picture of it, get a good reproduction of it. We can help you out with that. I got some friends that do some great reproduction stuff on fish. So next time you're out on the water, or if you're looking for more techniques, look us up at trapperslandinglodge.com or find us on Facebook for more tips and techniques, and hopefully you'll catch your trophy next time you're here on Leech Lake.